Welcome to the CISO Daily Update.
A consumer-grade spyware app found in check-in systems of 3 U.S. hotels. A researcher discovered PC Tattletale, a consumer-grade spyware app, on the check-in systems of at least 3 Wyndham hotels in the U.S., exposing guest details and partial payment card numbers. The spyware, typically used for monitoring online activities, was capturing screenshots of hotel booking systems via Sabre and Booking.com portals. Eric Daigle found the spyware while investigating stalkerware and also identified a vulnerability that allows anyone to access the spyware's screenshots. Although he attempted to report the flaw to PC Tattletale, the company has not responded. The motivation and identity of the person who installed the spyware remain unknown. Cybercriminals exploit cloud storage for SMS phishing scams. Cybercriminals are exploiting cloud storage services like Amazon S3, Google Cloud Storage, Backblaze B2, and IBM Cloud Object Storage for SMS phishing scams. These attackers use these platforms to host static websites with embedded spam URLs, making scam messages appear legitimate and bypassing network firewalls. These campaigns aim to deliver undetected scam texts while attempting to convince users of their legitimacy. While leveraging well-known cloud domains, attackers redirect users to malicious sites to steal personal and financial information. To mitigate these threats, researchers recommend monitoring traffic behavior, inspecting URLs, and being cautious of unexpected messages with links. Threat actor claiming access to AWS, Azure, MongoDB, and Github API keys. A threat actor claimed to gain unauthorized access to API keys from major cloud services including AWS, Microsoft Azure, MongoDB, and GitHub. If legitimate, this breach poses significant risks as compromised API keys can lead to unauthorized access to sensitive data, manipulation or deletion of cloud resources, and potentially large-scale data breaches. In response to the claims, affected companies have begun investigations and advised users to rotate their API keys, enable multi-factor authentication, and monitor for unusual activity. Compromised recording software was served from vendor's official site, threat researchers say. Security researchers discovered that the official website of Justice AV Solutions has been serving a compromised version of their JVS viewer recording software laced with loader malware since at least April 2nd. The malicious installer, signed with a legitimate Authenticode certificate, drops a binary that executes PowerShell scripts to download additional malware designed for data theft, including credentials stored in browsers. Rapid7 identified 2 such compromised installers and warned that affected users face high risk, advising complete reimagining of systems, resetting credentials, and installing the latest uncompromised version, 8.3.8 or higher, after cleaning infected machines. While JAFS disputes the findings, they are revisiting their release process, advising users to verify digital signatures and providing guidance on detecting and remediating malicious files. Ransomware attacks exploit VMware ESXi vulnerabilities in alarming pattern. Ransomware groups are increasingly exploiting vulnerabilities in VMware ESXi virtual infrastructures, following a consistent pattern regardless of the specific ransomware family involved. The attack chain typically begins with initial access via phishing, malware downloads, or vulnerability exploitation, followed by privilege escalation to obtain ESXi or vCenter credentials. Subsequently, backup systems are disrupted, data is exfiltrated, and the ransomware is executed to encrypt virtual machine file systems. The lateral movement to non-virtualized systems further propagates the attack. Concurrently, threat actors are leveraging malvertising campaigns to distribute Trojanized installers for popular tools like WinSCP and PuTTY, leading to the deployment of post-exploitation toolkits and ultimately ransomware payloads. Moroccan cybercrime group impersonates nonprofits and abuses cloud services to rake in gift card cash. A sophisticated Moroccan cybercrime group tracked as Storm 0539 or Atlas Lion has been impersonating nonprofit organizations to obtain discounted or free access to cloud services. The group then abuses this cloud infrastructure to conduct gift card theft scams targeting major U.S. retailers. Their tactics involve spear-phishing key employees, controlling gift card operations, bypassing multi-factor authentication, and leveraging intricate knowledge of cloud environments and company procedures to maximize gains from fraudulently issued gift cards. Microsoft researchers note the group's cloud proficiency and recon capabilities are comparable to nation-state actors. While monetary losses are unclear, the group adeptly stays under individual companies' policy thresholds to avoid detection. Defending against such threats requires robust measures like enforcing multi-factor authentication, applying least privilege access principles, treating gift card portals as high-value targets, and monitoring for anomalous login activity. Feds continue to rack up convictions in BEC cases as Georgia man gets 10-year sentence. A Georgia man, Malachi Mullings, has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for stealing millions through business email compromise and romance scams, including $3.8 million from a state Medicaid program. Mullings laundered money via 20 bank accounts under a sham company and extorted $260,000 to buy a Ferrari. His conviction is part of a federal crackdown on such scams, with recent convictions including Nicelio Barros Garcia, Okechukwu Valentino Suji, and Corey Lee, highlighting the rise of BEC scams that cost Americans nearly $3 billion in 2023, per FBI reports. Critical flaw in Replicate AI platform exposes proprietary data. A critical vulnerability in the Replicate AI platform allowed attackers to execute malicious AI models, exposing proprietary data and compromising the integrity of AI outputs by enabling cross-tenant attacks. Discovered by Wiz researchers, the flaw involved creating a malicious cog container, leading to unauthorized access and modification of other customers' AI models. The vulnerability highlighted the challenges of securing AI-as-a-service environments that run models from untrusted sources. Replicate promptly mitigated the flaw after disclosure, ensuring no data compromise. WinRAR flaw let attackers deceive users with ANSI escape sequences. A critical vulnerability, CVE 2024-36052, was discovered in WinRAR, affecting versions prior to 7.0, which allows attackers to spoof screen output using ANSI escape sequences. This flaw arises from WinRAR's inadequate validation and sanitization of file names within zip archives. When a maliciously crafted zip file containing ANSI escape sequences is extracted, WinRAR misinterprets these sequences as control characters, potentially tricking users into executing harmful files. This could result in the execution of hidden malicious scripts while displaying decoy documents to avoid detection. Users are advised to update to WinRAR version 7.0 or later and exercise caution when handling files from untrusted sources. Apple's Wi-Fi positioning can be system abused to track users. A study by researchers at the University of Maryland revealed a privacy vulnerability in Apple's Wi-Fi positioning system, allowing attackers to track users' locations and movements globally. Exploiting this system, attackers can amass a database of Wi-Fi access point locations and track device movements over time. Case studies illustrate the potential for surveillance in sensitive areas like war zones and disaster zones. The researchers recommend measures such as rate limiting, authentication for WPS queries, and BSSID randomization to enhance privacy protections. While Apple has allowed opt-out options for access points, more comprehensive solutions are needed to address this privacy issue. CISA warns of actively exploited Apache Flink security vulnerability. CISA warned about an actively exploited security flaw in Apache Flink, an open-source stream processing framework. Tracked as CVE 2020-17519, the vulnerability allows unauthorized access to local file system files through Flink's REST interface, potentially exposing sensitive data. Although patched in versions 1.11.3 and 1.12.0, evidence suggests ongoing exploitation since late 2020. Federal agencies are advised to apply the latest fixes by June 13, 2024 to mitigate active threats. Ransomware fallout: 94% experience downtime, 40% face work stoppage. A recent Arctic Wolf survey highlights the significant impact of ransomware attacks, with 94% of affected organizations experiencing downtime and 40% facing complete work stoppage. The study reveals that 48% of organizations identified successful breaches within the past year, though the remaining 52% may also have been breached but lacked the ability to detect it. Business email compromise attacks targeted 70% of organizations, with 29% suffering successful breaches. Ransomware attacks increased, with 86% involving data exfiltration. The financial toll extends beyond ransom payments, often including extensive network downtime and productivity loss. Cyber insurance adoption is high, with 66% having active policies, though concerns about rising premiums persist. Additionally, 94% of organizations are developing policies for generative AI usage, while 88% have implemented security awareness programs to combat these evolving threats. NVD leaves exploited vulnerabilities unchecked. A Vulncheck report reveals that over 50% of known exploited vulnerabilities identified since February 12th are missing from the U.S. National Vulnerability Database, with 30 out of 59 keys yet to be analyzed. These gaps highlight the rapid weaponization and exploitation of vulnerabilities, with 55.9% of weaponized vulnerabilities and 82% of proof-of-concept exploits also lacking NVD analysis. Despite ongoing issues, initiatives like the new CVE format and CISA's Vulnerabilities program aim to address these gaps, although significant challenges remain.
Thanks for listening. Remember to subscribe to our newsletter at CISOHeadlines.com. Until next time, stay curious.